Welcome back to the Bronco Nation, your place for all things Bronco. Today's a special day. We're gonna have a little Q&A session. Now for you guys who are on the forums, there are always really good questions that are being asked on the forums. If you aren't on the forums yet, make sure to join. We are listening and we're taking copious notes and writing all that stuff down so that we can get answers to your questions. So today I'm joined by Esteban from Ford. He is the brand manager for the Bronco. So our first question is, what date will we be able to convert our reservations to orders?
I can confirm that Bronco has been delayed due to COVID issues. And so you'd probably originally seen December dates for converting your reservation to order. We're moving that now to mid-January. And when you go in to convert your reservation to order with your dealer might ask you for an incremental deposit on your order. Keep in mind that every Bronco that we're going to build in the 21 model year is going to be a custom built Bronco. So dealers might want a little bit more skin in the game on your part before actually converting your reservation to order and placing that order with Ford.
Yeah, because you guys who are ordering, the super custom of the custom of the custom, they don't want to have one of those sitting on the lot the whole year waiting for that one other guy who was like, oh, that's the one I wanted. So should reservation holders contact their dealer if orders begin, but they haven't been contacted by their dealer?
So the way it's going to work is, as I mentioned, reservations will start to convert to orders in mid-January. So at the earliest, a dealer would contact you in middle to late January to go in, have a ordering consultation with the sales specialist to actually place your order. I would not panic if you don't hear in January. There are 190,000 Bronco reservations. So you can imagine your dealer is going to have a lot of customers to get through to actually get all those those reservations converted.
In what sequence will reservations be converted to orders? If I have a day one reservation and submit my order as soon as my dealer contacts me, will my order be among the first sent to Ford?
So I've heard this question a lot. Keep in mind that your reservation saves your spot in line. So it doesn't matter necessarily when you actually convert that reservation to order. That part is not going to affect when your Bronco gets built. There will be a cutoff, and the cutoff will be in March. And as long as you convert your reservation to order before March, your timestamp that you got when you placed your reservation will be that determining variable that helps slot your build into the production schedule.
Nice. So to reiterate, your reservation holds your order. You got to get your order confirmation in before March, but your reservation holds your order.
Right. And there are other things that will play into when your truck physically gets built. Your reservation timestamp is a big part of it, but there are also going to be commodity constraints. So we can only build so many Sasquatch Broncos a year, right? So stuff like that will factor into when your Bronco gets delivered.
Now, when someone is doing the order conversion, what's that process like? Like what can people expect?
That's a great question. I think that's largely going to depend on what dealer you're using to purchase your Bronco. So each dealer kind of has a slightly different way of how they're going to convert your reservation to order. I would definitely, like I said, when they reach out to you to convert your reservation to order, ask them what the process looks like at their store, what they can expect. Ultimately, these orders will get placed by the dealer in sort of like a proprietary Ford computer system, which then sends the orders to the factory. But as far as how the dealer actually communicates with you about your reservation, that'll vary.
When will Ford finalize the production plan based on the orders they've received from reservation holders?
The way it's going to work is that we're going to ask that everyone convert their reservations to orders by March. And once all those orders have been placed, the system will go through and they'll figure out what the production schedule is. And then that's when I mentioned that we'll then go out and let customers know roughly within a window when we think their vehicle is going to be produced. The variables that go into actually determining that are going to be the timestamp you have from your reservation, the options that you select on your Bronco. Like we've communicated, certain options are very popular, like Sasquatch and the 2.7 liter engine, amongst some. And then also how many Broncos your dealer is slated to get. So each dealer has a certain number of Broncos that they'll be provided with.
Okay, now there's a lot of questions around dealer allocations, and how are dealer allocations going to be handled? Will it strictly follow the number of orders held by a dealer and region?
So dealer allocations, pretty complicated. The number of reservations that a dealer converts to order will be one of the variables that determines how many Broncos a dealer gets allocated. So it's a very complicated formula. Don't want to get into it, but needless to say, we're prioritizing reservations over stock units. We've pledged that. So if you get your reservation in, if you get your order in with a dealer, we're prioritizing getting through all those reservation to order conversions before we start building stock units. Also keep in mind that we have 190,000 reservations. So the number of orders that a dealer has for the vast majority of dealers is going to be greater than the number of vehicles they're going to be allocated. Unfortunately, a lot of folks are going to have to wait until a 22 model year.
Now, one of the questions that we got in the forums is, can we make changes to our order, up until the time that there is a production VIN, or once we've submitted it, it's locked in and there's no more changes available?
So you can edit your order up until the vehicle actually gets scheduled with the factory. So the dealer can go back in and actually change it. And since we're gonna convert all the reservations to order by March, especially people who will get their vehicles later in 21, they'll be able to change it for a little bit of time, right? So yeah, if you see a Sasquatch truck and you're like, no, I gotta have the Sasquatch, you can go ahead and change that. That being said, we are gonna provide you with an estimate for when we think your truck's gonna be built. And that's gonna be based upon what you originally submit with the dealer and when you convert between January and March. All that being said, if you say you do switch that Sasquatch package when you see your neighbor down the street get it, that might affect that timing that we provided you with.
That's good to know. I mean, it's good to know that yes, you can make changes, but yes, those changes can potentially affect your delivery date.
Yeah, we want to try and keep the changes to a minimum, right? Because it's not fun for the dealer, it's not fun for anyone. So hopefully we can provide you with all the information you need to make your decision when you convert your reservation.
Yeah, don't go from a blue base color to a red Wild Track Sasquatch. Yeah. That just would be bad. So obviously people want their Broncos. So this next question, what factors affect the order in which Broncos are being built and delivered? Are there factors that affect that, or is it just, what does that look like?
Yeah, this is another kind of complicated thing where the system takes a bunch of inputs and makes the production plan, but the three main things that go into determining when your Bronco is going to be built are the timestamp of your reservation, what options you've selected for your Bronco and if they're in hot demand, and then lastly, how many Broncos the dealer you've selected has in terms of their allocation from the factory.
So unfortunately, that's the political answer. There's no, we can't say, hey, if you select the 2.7, then you're going to be last. There is no answer like that. It's just it's kind of like a complicated formula.
Yeah, it's not as straightforward, and that's why we're trying to provide customers with that window after they've converted their reservation to order, so they can have a general understanding of, okay, well, this is kind of what I'm looking at from a time frame perspective. Does this work for me? Or am I going to have to, be out of my lease too soon? It's not going to work for me. So we're trying to be as transparent as we can and provide you guys with the information you need to make good decisions.
But what I like about that is that your timestamp from your reservation does play into that.
Yep.
So you know, if you're like, hey, you know, what is this? You know, it doesn't matter what my reservation was. It does matter when you put in your reservation, and it matters what options you choose and stuff like that. So know that your reservation does actually play a part into that.
Yeah.
Well, that is all the time that we have today. Esteban, thank you so much for being here. Guys, seriously, submit your questions. If you're not on the forums, make sure to get on the forums. Down in the description below, there's going to be a link to a Q&A thread where you guys can ask more questions and read this stuff. So make sure to check that out below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to stay tuned for more videos on how you can get the most out of your Bronco.